What it do, man? Your favorite cousin checking in, Young Jock. I got the lovely Su.Solo, the funny man, Shawty himself. We are the Streetz Morning Takeover, hitting you each and every weekday morning, same time, same place, 6 to 10. And on the phone, or I guess I should say on the Zoom call with us, we have the incredible Mr. Michael Render. I know him, I've been calling him for a long time, but the world also knows him as Killer Mike. What's up, my brother?
Man, good morning. For those who don't know, man, Jock younger, but we same high school generation, man. We've been homeboys a long time. Very proud of you, man.
Shouts out to BTA, Black Teams for Advancement.
Mr. Johnson still out there.
Mr. Johnson.
Shout out to Kwanzaa Hall, one of the founders who's running for John Lewis's old seat. Let's make sure if you went to Doug or Mays or Washington and benefited from BTA, let's make sure we get Kwanzaa in office.
Yes, sir.
So what we got going on this morning, man? It's always a pleasure to be able to speak with you. One thing is, I say when we see you in passing, we can shoot I guess I could say we can shoot the shit in passing.
Yeah,
but
we do.
whenever we step on a real platform like this, it's always something that's got to be progressive and it moves the culture forward. So what we got going this morning?
Well, man, what we have this morning is it got announced that I'm one of the founders of Greenwood Bank. And for those who may be unfamiliar with banking, 65% of Americans bank digitally now. You bank from right here on your telephone. I'm sure your children are doing their banking by phone like mine are. So that means as we go and we see less brick and mortar banks, especially in the Black community, they've been taking banks out of our community. We've had to pivot to check cash in places that are predatory. They're going to charge you 20, 25 cents on your dollar to cash a check. Your check might be coming Friday, but you need the money Wednesday to pay your rent. We solve all those problems. Now you're going to be able to do your banking right from your phone. We're not going to charge you exorbitant fees. They're going to be fair fees. They're going to be no hidden fees. And beyond that, what you're going to have is the ability to say on Wednesday, get that check versus having to wait on Friday. It's named Greenwood because in Tulsa, there was a section called Greenwood that was much like Auburn Avenue, Edgewood Avenue of the past, where there was a lot of rich Black money. Black dollars were turning 36 times before they left the community. They burned it down. And when I say they, evil, racist whites at the time that were filled with hatred and jealousy, burned that to the ground and it never rebounded. But in spirit, Greenwood has rebounded because now we've created a black banking platform for Black people, Latino people, poor and working class people, white folks, millionaires, zillionaires, anybody who wants to bank. It is an FDIC bank, just like the bank you walk into. It is the bank of the future because 65% of people are already banking online, and it is a memorial to what was, what is, and what always will be, and that's the Black economic dollar organized equals power for us.
I knew it. I knew it. I think I used the proper words, Sue and Shawty. I said progressive.
Absolutely, it's progressive.
You know, sometimes I think with certain people, you don't know where they're coming from. Whenever we speak with you, I know it's gonna be something good. I know it's gonna be something stimulating for the culture and for the mind, man. I'm very excited to see that you're into this new endeavor, man. I think it's amazing. That's what's up. That's big.
Only the Trump campaign can answer questions as clearly and precisely as Killer Mike.
Right. You ain't lying, Sue. And if only the Democrats could actually give us some better answers than you know, forget the Trump campaign. We really want out of both campaigns is something like Greenwood is providing. Greenwood is providing something specific for the Black community and Latino community and worker class community that's going to aid us. And I want to encourage both political parties as they get closer to the date to ask for our vote to give us something. And on a national level, that is important, but more important is those local elections. Like we talked about, former BTA founder that Jock and I were a part of, Kwanzaa Hall is running for John Lewis's old seat. Let's get him in office. We have John Ossoff running, Reverend Warnock. Let's get those people in office. So even if you don't care much for the presidential race, I want to encourage people out there to keep it local, vote down that ticket, and make sure you start your www.bankgreenwood.com account today so we can start using those small dollar donations in these local elections and winning these offices and making the whole city and our municipalities more progressive.
Right. Now, hey, I got a question. You know, this ain't a mixtape.
Not,
This ain't a pod.
not
It's not a podcast. It's not a new restaurant. This is a serious venture.
Absolutely.
How did Greenwood start? How did you become? How is it that Michael Render, Killer Mike, is online with the Streetz Morning Takeover, telling us about this new online banking for the culture, modern banking for our culture? I want to know, how did this start?
Well, I'm not a paid endorser. What I am is one of the founding equitable partner. Don't mean I got a lot. It means I got enough to be talking because I want to see it work, right?
Okay.
So in Atlanta, we have banks like Citizens Trust Bank. Your grandparents or parents took you to Citizens Trust, 95 years of success. So we're used to banking black. But imagine if I'm in states where I don't have the ability to bank black or have a bank that cares about me. This solved that problem. And what it is Ryan Glover, who we know started and sold Bounce TV for hundreds of millions of dollars. We know Ryan Glover successfully started and catered one of the best record companies ever to be born out of here in Noontime, along with Noonie. We know Ryan has been a juggernaut in business. Once he pivoted for the need, products and services in the financial sector we need, he pivoted to that. He partnered with Andy Young, Bo Young, Andy's son, and also Mays guys, both. And he also pivoted with Paul Judge of the tech. He's a tech giant out of Morehouse. If those group of men come to you and say, would you be interested in do it? You almost say yes before you get the full description of what it was. But I've been pushing black banking in response to what we've been enduring from the state agents and killing and murdering us for a long time. And why is banking the answer, Mike? Well, an organized dollar is an effective dollar and a weapon. Bernie Sanders won an effective campaign against people who had billions of dollars for corporations from $27 donations from regular people. Marcus Garvey built one of the largest African-American economic juggernauts in America with penny and 5-cent donations from black people. If we organize our dollar as well as we organize our vote, we will be a far more effective community. So I believe that, and this gave me an opportunity to partner with people of character, of good judgment, and have a long history of doing right by my community. So I left at the opportunity to do it. So I'm here today to encourage people to open up their bank accounts, because besides saving money by not going to predatory places, you're also setting this bank up to be a lender for home loans, for car loans, and bigger than that, for small and middle-sized business loans for people who look like me and you.
Killer Mike, it seems like no matter how well-spoken or how educated a black man is, when he's trying to uplift his community, there still seems to be a lot of resistance from our own. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, or waste time to think about. Jock and I were a part of a teen organization called BTA, that if me and Jock had beef at 2 different schools, homies from each school would put us in a room together to talk that out and hash that out. We were self-organized, and this was over 20-something, almost 30 years ago. So all my life, I have been more about solutions than investigating the problems. I would just say it's learned behavior. You act like the folks who owned you. White folks don't always get along. They hide their troubles, they cuss and talk behind each other's back, but they're usually unified when they got an agenda at hand.
Yeah.
So I would encourage black people to do all your arguing behind closed doors, not on public media. Do all your doubting at the church, behind the church, not on Facebook and IG. See what happens. And then when it works, everybody get together and act like they knew all along.
There it is.
So,
hey, Mike, I got a question for you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Recently, one of the executives at Wells Fargo made a statement that said the pickings were slim at the top for black executives. Why is that statement true or not true?
Let me tell you, first of all, that is one of the most intelligent questions. You just asked the same questions that MSNBC asked, Fox asked, Bloomberg asked, and that's one. So Wells Fargo, let me tell you this story. 5 years ago when we did black banking, and all of us pivoted toward black banks, I want to say in particular, shouts out to T.I., Young Dolph, and Young Thug. They put over millions of dollars in one black bank in one day, right? When they did that, Wells Fargo, who had got caught skimming off people's accounts, all of a sudden came up with $50 million, $60 million for black mortgages, not disenfranchised, not people of color, not women of color, black. If you black, come in here and get your mortgage. Now, that's how effective they can be when they back on the ropes and they think they're in danger. So what that guy was saying was that I want to hire black folks, but I can't find the black folks to hire. I call BS on that. The people behind the financial leg of Greenwood are Black people out of finance who've left major banks and are determined to make this work, to show them that you're wrong. You're not promoting us. You're not putting us in positions of power like we deserve to be, and you're overlooking us purposely. The other thing is, I'd like to challenge the president of Wells Fargo to come pick 3 elementary schools in the John Lewis district in Atlanta. He can pick Gene Childs Young Middle School, Frederick Douglass High School, Booker T. Washington, Benjamin E. Mays. I would like him to take those kids from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, preparing them to be financiers. And then for the ones who do well and ones who do actually better than average, make sure that they get scholarships into an HBCU or public university and graduate what you want to see. So don't just critique without an investment. We want an investment from Wells Fargo to adopt 3 kindergarten classes and march those kids 13 years through, so that the other side of those 13 years, they have grown the people they currently say they cannot find.
Come on.
If you truly care about the involvement of minority people, use the privilege that you've been given to truly see that change come to place.
And you know what, Sue? Sometimes they hate to hear the word privilege, so use the resources. You got money. Money is a resource. Use your resources to grow what you'd like to see.
They hate the word privilege. I'm not privileged. I work for this.
Yeah.
But
sometimes you don't have to work as hard.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say this. It's going to probably catch some people by. They're going to be like, what the hell? I'm privileged. I'm privileged to be able to be a part of something so beautiful and at the start of something right now. Although I'm not necessarily a part of it just yet, but I'm about to be. What I need to know is, how do I sign up? How do I open my account? How do I start? How do I become
an account holder at Greenwood. www.bankgreenwood.com. www.bankgreenwood.com. And the lab, since we went live on another morning show, they've had over 1,500 signups. We're looking for more. I know after Streetz 94, they might as well get ready for the website to crash. So, I am so proud of the people who are taking control of their financial futures. I want to tell young people, especially young men, because usually you see a young man running around in a Honda or Nissan, that's his girlfriend car. She's getting her credit together. Her name is on the rent form, so she's getting her credit. Young women out there, we're gonna have to help our brothers do the same thing. Brother, go take your shaky credit, buy your first car, pay your note on time, get your credit started, start this Greenwood account, save 20 cents out of every dollar you make, be responsible, reasonable, and conservative with your dollars, and over the next 5 or 10 years, man, grow into a homeowner, grow into a business owner, and grow into the young men that we need to be husbands to these women, to be fathers to these children, and to be cornerstones in our community for the culture.
That's right. Sue, we're gonna make sure we give Greenwood the proper push, man. Let's talk to all our listeners in our cities. Let's shout our cities out and tell them make sure they go sign up at Greenwood right now, man.
Now, this is the thing. You guys already know your favorite morning show is a syndicated morning show. We can be heard in several cities outside of Atlanta. So, of course, we're going to thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you
for that. I'm proud of y'all. I'm very proud of y'all.
Thank you. So we do want to make sure that our listeners out in Newport News, Chesapeake, Hampton, Port Smith, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Raleigh, Charlotte, Albany, and Atlanta know to go to bankgreenwood.com and start your account today. Again, I don't care where in the world you are, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Mississippi. If I didn't say the state, I didn't say it. It don't matter. Bank Black, okay?
Hey,
Killer Mike, man, telling me I got to go now, y'all. Come here, man. Look, this is one of my publicists. Got the white man tell me I got to go.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, man. We're going to edit.
Hey, it's okay. We got the gist of the idea. We got the gist of the idea, and we're going to move this message along and put it in its proper perspective and make sure that our people know what time it is, man. We want to take the time on having the Streetz Morning Takeover. Killer Mike, we want to say thank you, man. Thank you for your accomplishments. Thank you for your resilience, and we appreciate you speaking with us this morning, man. And continue to push the message forward. I love and respect you all. I'm very proud of you guys. And remember, www.bankgreenwood.com. This is Banking for the Culture.